Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time for a new album review this Sunday and I'm talking about the third full-length studio album from the Shoegaze band Slow Crush. This is their release Thirst, which came out on the 29th of August via Pure Noise Records, and the album is 10 tracks and 42 minutes in length. And I just think this is almost the perfect time of year for shoegaze for me. It feels like the season for shoegaze. And why do I say that? Well, it feels like you're getting towards the end of summer and into early autumn here in the UK. And the early evenings, you get really kind of these beautiful skies and sunsets as colours of the sun combine with the clouds. Feels like you're getting towards the end almost of the excesses of summer into a calmer, if darker, autumn and winter seasons. So I kind of feel like this sort of transitional period of the year, of the calendar year, suits shoegaze and perhaps also suits this album. Now, why do I say that? Because I'm going to quote Isa Holliday here, the singer and bassist from the band, and what she said in an interview with the line of bestfit.com, which I will put a link into in the description box. So Isa Holliday says, "I've also heard it, as in the album, described beautifully as the serenity before an impending nightmare." She continues, "I like that, that's very good. I think that is a kind of storyline that runs through the album, that it starts quite serene, but then drifts into a darker depth." And for me, that describes the album very well. You know, it starts off, pretty serene sounding, and it still sounds serene for me throughout most of the album, but it gets a little bit darker towards the end of the record. So you can sense that sort of mood transition a bit here. Even though with so many shoegaze albums, the word melancholy is used often, I do feel like that word probably suits certainly the sort of the later parts of the record here. As far as shoegaze itself goes, this is definitely a front runner for me, the best shoegaze album we've possibly had in the calendar year of 2025. And I will say I've not listened to a lot of shoegaze albums this year, so maybe I can't really say that with a huge amount of confidence on that basis that I've not listened to enough shoegaze records. However, I think this goes beyond the mere sound of its warm, distorted embrace, and with its heavy sound comes actually quite a lot of depth and substance, some great musical changes, and some great performances from drummer Stephen Kamet, who I think does some terrific drum fills throughout the record. I'm going to go into some of the tracks here now, some of my favourites, as I always do in these reviews, and we start with Thirst, the opener. Starts off quite a familiar sounding shoegaze song, a little bit like a song maybe from Hum in the 90s, but then the change-ups in this track are fantastic, with some heavy breakdowns and great drum fills. Holy smoke, some of those drum fills are great on this one and in other songs as well. Cherry, the third song on the album, I think is another highlight. Lots of walls of sound with some great breaks, allowing for more kind of spaced out noise, and again more really good drum build-ups here too. Leap at first feels like a little bit of a tone change in the album, as it does mark that move for me into the slightly darker elements of or darker part of the record. It's not long though before you get the kind of classic shoegazy fuzzy sound coming into the song once again, but another pretty strong track on the album. Haven for me, I just want to touch on because of the breakdown in this song, which even for shoegaze is headbangable. So if you want to have a shoegaze song where you could actually mosh, this is the song to do it. This is a headbangable, moshable shoegaze song. You heard it here first. I reckon you could actually mosh to Haven. What a great song that is. And then Blood Moon, and tracks like Blood Moon and Hills and, these kind of songs towards the end of the record are a lot dreamier and have a more twinkly guitar sound, I would call it, leaving your mind kind of floating above these misty soundscapes. But that last track, which I struggle to pronounce, Hilt, I can't quite say it. Let me know how you pronounce it, perhaps, although probably hard to say how you could pronounce that in the comments. But, more dreamy guitars. But this one is interesting because it gets heavier as it goes on, and they even managed to blend in some well-mixed screams in towards the end of this track. The screams don't come in too loud for me, or they're nicely held back so they fit still with the dark music and don't spoil the song. So even if you don't usually like screams in your shoegaze or in these kind of albums, it works on this record for me. Overall, this is a great heavy shoegaze record. This is at least an 8. I was thinking of a 9, but I do also feel at times, I feel the album is almost, despite all the great drum work, can feel a touch one pace. So I'm giving this one a final score of an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know what you think. I think this is one of those albums that's easily going to skyrocket up my year-end list, you know, particularly as I haven't found a huge number of shoegaze albums I've loved this year, but this one goes right up there. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this record in the comments. Otherwise, do drop a like and a sub if you're new to my channel and you'd like to listen to more of these reviews so you get more notifications. Otherwise, till the next time, don't forget to bring the shoegaze, and bye for now.